Okay, so today I'm going to do a very brief explanation of the 5 Tibetans. So these are 5 full body movements that Tibetan monks have been doing for hundreds of years. It takes just a few minutes. They do them in the morning and in the evening, and you can find them on the internet. Just Google the 5 Tibetans. You can get PDFs that show you pictures of the poses. You can get information on the history. Part of the reason that I'm doing this is because, not only because it's a great kind of quick physical energizer, full body activity, but it's also not a fad. So there's lots and lots of fitness, exercise, yoga, and lots of yoga fads out there that I might argue are not really yoga, but that's just my opinion. But this is a age-old practice that you could try, and I'm going to offer some chair modifications. And so I'm not going to do them in the traditional order. I'm going to just work our way from standing to the floor so I don't have to keep getting up and down. So you might want to, when you look them up, find the traditional order. I'm not actually sure if it makes a difference what order you do them in. So the first one is for your vestibular balance, those little ear crystals in your inner ear that help you keep your balance. And so I want to remind you that you need to be sure not to fall doing any of these and do them safely, so do what's best for you. So first is the traditional is a spinning motion, and it's kind of like what a whirling dervish would do. So I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to show you a modification. So the goal here is to not focus on anything. So as you spin around, you try not to let your eye catch anything. Just keep your eyes open and relaxed. And again, if you feel any dizziness, slow down, or stop, or do the modification. In the Tibetan tradition, you do 21 of each series. But I'm just going to do 5 of each, and you could maybe start with 3 or 5 and work your way up to 7, 10, 15, and eventually 21. So if you are north of the equator, you will spin clockwise. If you happen to be south of the equator, you should spin counterclockwise. All right, so we're just going to start spinning, and I'm just taking little tiny baby steps with my feet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, arms are reaching out, 5, one more time, and then bring my hands to my hips, come to standing, soft focus, and allow your body to settle. And again, you'd work your way up to 21. Any nausea or dizziness, back off, go more slowly. So here's the modification. You're going to do it in quarter turns. Just turn to the quarter, turn to the quarter, and pause, turn a quarter way, pause, turn a quarter way, pause, and just do that a few times. So that's the first one. The second one is that I'm going to do is a couple of kind of like back bend front body openers and upper arm and core strengtheners. So the first one, I'm going to turn my chair sideways. So I'm using an armchair, and be sure that it's on a stable surface, so on a yoga mat or a carpet. So the first one, I'm turning sideways just so you can see my spine. The first one for the modification is simply going to be putting your hands on your back and drawing your elbows together and just lifting your chest. It's really about opening the upper back, so you're going to draw your elbows together and then relax, come back to neutral. So you lift your chest, push your hands down on your back, squeeze your elbows together and come back to neutral. All right? That's the modification. Okay, and then the third one in the modified way is going to be, again, you need to just be careful and be sure that you are stable and balanced. You're going to plant your feet, you're going to rest your hands on your arms of the chair, and you're going to inhale, lift your hips, so you're one long line from your knees to shoulders, and exhale, sit back down. And inhale, lift your hips, and exhale, sit back down. So those are the modifications for poses 2 and 3. I'm just going to come back to the mat and show you the traditional way for these 2 poses. All right, so the first one, you would be on your knees. All right, you can always pad your knees if you need to. Right, so you're going to start with your hands down by your side. Feel like you're rolling yourself over a big exercise ball. Put your hands on your hips, lift your chest, fold your upper back back, look up if you can, and exhale, release. So I'm going to do 5 of these, right? Push your hips forward, draw your elbows back, and release. You You could always do this looking forward if it bothers your neck. Just remember, we're working on the spine and the upper back in all of these. That's 3. So one thing you also need to know is that these move with the breath. So in each series of exercises, you're going to inhale on the efforting and exhale, release. All right, so do one more, inhaling, effort, and exhaling, release. So the challenging thing about that is once you get your repetitions up, you want to try and keep your breath and your movements together, so you're either going to have to speed up your movements or slow down your breath, and it can be really good and challenging. So hang on one second, I'm going to grab a couple of blocks, because this next one for me, I have really short arms, and I need blocks for a prop. You could get some hardback books, a couple of hardback books if you need, so I'll be right back. And I'm back. So I have these 2 kind of narrow yoga blocks. It's just enough to help me get my hips back on the ground, because the goal is you want to keep your hips up for the whole time. So I'm sitting here with my legs out straight, right? And on an inhale, I'm going to plant my feet, lift my hips to the sky. So it's a reverse tabletop. And on the exhale, I'm going to scoot my hips all the way back, and then I'm going to sit them down. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, hips back, and then down. Inhale, up. Exhale, push into the blocks or the mat, and then rest your hips. One more time. And you can see how the breath would get to be a challenge. Inhale, lift, and exhale, down. Again, working up to as many as 21 if you can. So then we've got number 4. And I'm going to show the modification first, and then I will show the traditional one. Okay? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to roll myself back down, right? So I'm nice and flat, my feet are flexed, my hands are down by my side. This is a leg lift. So one of the ways you could do it traditionally, but still protect your low back, is to put your hands, palms facing down underneath you, right? So you're going to inhale, lift your feet, and exhale down. Or you could reverse it and exhale since you're folding, and inhale, whichever one works for you. So traditionally you'd rest your hands on the mat, and you would fold your shoulders and your head up. So if you have osteoporosis or anything going on with your neck and shoulders, you should just keep your head on the mat. So the traditional looks like this. Exhale, lift, inhale, down. Exhale, lift, inhale, down. I'll do 2 more just so you can see. And inhale, and exhale, and inhale. Okay, so I didn't show you the modification first, but we're just going to fix that now. I just want to make this video quick and efficient. So if you are doing the modified version, you want to lay on a coffee table or a bed, or if you can get yourself down on the floor, that's great, right? So you're just going to exhale your legs one at a time. You can even bend your knees a little bit if you need help. Exhaling the lower 1, and lift, and exhale, and lift, right? So you're just going to keep doing that. So 1 set would be 1, right? Only going as low as you can without any low back pain, right? Okay, so 1 more. Roll to your side, push yourself up. I'm going to show the traditional version first, and then the modification on this one. Right, so this is basically downward dog, upward dog. So you're going to start in downward facing dog. You inhale, stay on your toes, and do a gentle back bend. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Spread your fingers wide. Push into the mat. Inhaling. And exhaling. I'm going to do 2 more. Coming through plank. Upward facing dog. Exhale. 1 more. And exhale. Pull your knees in. Float them down to the mat. And then I encourage you to take a moment to do seated meditation or a shavasana or something. So now I'm going to show the modification of that, okay? Okay, so here's the modified last pose, right? You've got your armchair, it's on a nice stable base, right? You're gonna rest your hands kind of close to the backs of the arms and walk your feet away so that you can get yourself kind of in an upside down L shape, right? So that's your exhale. Inhaling to start, you're gonna bring your hips forward and maybe you just come to straight kind of a plank position. Be careful that you're balanced, so that your chair is not gonna rock over, right? You might have to adjust your hands and feet. Or you could drop your hips so you get a little bit of a back bend. And then exhale back and up. Inhaling, lift. And exhale. Inhaling, lift. And exhale. So there's your modification, the 5 Tibetans. There's the spinning, right? There's the back bend. There's the reverse tabletop, lifting your hips. There's the leg raising and lowering. And then there's the upward dog, downward dog, or basically forward fold and back bend. So remember a couple of things. Move with the breath. Make sure that you're safe. You're not going to fall. There shouldn't be any pain. And above all, remember that how you do anything is how you do everything. And so that also goes with like whatever exercise, other exercise you happen to be doing, right? So as long as you're doing it with a good intention, even if it's a fad, it's all yoga, right? But this 5 Tibetans is a kind of a tried and true longevity and wellness practice, and I hope you enjoy it. Spirit in me honors spirit in you. Namaste.